I bet Bond is getting excited. Why? Well, actually, we don't know who the next Bond is, do we? They're still looking for a new James Bond. Actor, that is. But James Bond is James Bond, and James Bond is known for driving Aston Martins. Well, there's a new Aston Martin. And if you remember, the Pierce Brosnan generation of James Bond, who was mostly driving BMWs throughout his tenure as 007, eventually got an Aston Martin to drive. And when he got an Aston Martin, it was the Vanquish. That's the one that he was given. And the Vanquish has undergone various updates and model changes and what have you. It went away for a while. We had a DBS, a DB11, DBS. Now we've got a brand new Vanquish. And here's the interesting part of the story. It's not going to be a hybrid or a V8. In fact, they are sticking to... In fact, I'll tell you what they're sticking to right after this.
A brown car guy.
Yeah, apparently there's been a lot of pressure from the new boss at Aston Martin to say, no, we're not doing the hybrid thing. We're not doing a V8 or, God forbid, a V6 or anything like that. We are going for a full-fat, full-fledged, all-out, crazy, nutter mental 5.2 litre V12 Twin-Turbo with, get this, 835 brake horsepower and 1,000 Newton meters of torque. Now there seems to be a trend actually with this thing, because if you think back to the fact, and I can see why Aston Martin has decided to go this way, saying that there is a good business case for doing this, is because in May of this year, Ferrari of course put out the 12 Cylindri. Literally named after the engine, 12 cylinders. So that is the statement that Ferrari made with that car. They said 12, it's called the 12 Cylindri because it has 12 cylinders. So they announced that back in May of this year. So of course, I guess Aston Martin decided that, well, you know, we're going to have to stick with the V12 as well. So the V12 lives on. And that's something to be glorified, I reckon. So according to the press release, this is the sensational new Halo model that marks the comeback of the legendary Vanquish name. It will have a maximum top speed of 214 miles per hour. It's a bit longer, seems like. And actually you can see that in the design. And actually there's a hints of 177. You remember the Aston Martin 177? There's hints of that in the front bit, in the nose and stuff. The rear I'll come back to in a minute. And it's 80 millimeters longer in the wheelbase. By the way, it's limited production. There will be only 1,000 production cars each year, with deliveries set to begin in the last quarter of this year, 2024. So only 1,000 of them will be made per year. Clearly a large car, but it's still a two-seater. So the first thing you're probably thinking when you're looking at this, you're going, well, this is just another version of the DB, right? Well, actually, they say that it's a completely new car. It's got new architecture. The engine has been updated, and the infotainment system and everything inside the car is also brand new as well. It certainly looks fantastic. I think it looks, I mean, it's long, it's crazy looking, it's got that scoop on the side, it's got that slightly sort of overbite thing going on just above the grille, which in profile looks a bit odd, but at 3/4 angle and front on it looks fine. And at the rear, I mean, how can I describe it? Is this, would you call that a camtail or a kind of, I think somebody called it a shield, but it's very interesting. If you think about the shape of the shield that popped up in the old DB5 Aston Martin from Goldfinger, when James Bond was trying to get away and the shield popped up, the bulletproof shield popped up. It kind of resembles that sort of shape at the back there. So it's kind of like a shield sort of thing. This thing has 824 brake horsepower, like I said. This 1,000 Newton meters of torque relates to about 738 pounds for the torque, 214 miles per hour, as I said. 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration for a big old beast like this, 3.3 seconds. Yeah, hold on to your toupees there, I'll tell you that much. That is going to be quick. The thing weighs 1774 kilograms, so all of that power and torque, and it's less than 2 tons. It's stiffer, it's got Bilstein DTX dampers. They've calibrated it to suit the car. Pirelli P04 tires are standard on the 21-inch forged alloy wheels, and carbon ceramic brakes are, of course, standard on something like this. You'd expect it, right? So, and again, at the back, you know, like I said, there's that weird kind of design, which does actually work and makes this quite distinctive from the rest of the Aston Martin range, if you like. Whereas the front is like a little bit very Aston Martin-y, but the back is like, whoa, what's that? That's kind of different. You know, I'd almost say like it's got a hint of Viper about it, but anyway, you probably disagree with that, but it kind of came to my mind. And they say that it's got the Valkyrie type of rear lights that flow. There's an upward flowing rear spoiler. And I think they do actually call it the shield. They actually call it the shield at the back, you know. And you can either get it in the same color as the body, or you can get it in the bare carbon fiber, as I think it was shown in the pictures. The interior is amazing. It looks like no other Aston Martin interior I've seen of late. And long gone is the emotion chip control key slot thing, if you remember that thing, where instead of a key, they just had a crystal which you put in. I think they called it the emotion control chip. And you press that, and that was your starter button. So I don't think they have that. It doesn't look like on this. And I would dare I say it's got a hint of a Lamborghini type of interior, the way it all sweeps into the center console and then those massive line of buttons there. So there's lots of buttons on this thing. So that's interesting. And it's a two-seater. Strictly a two-seater, but what they have got behind is quite interesting because there's a picture of it. What they have got behind, also a speaker, but they've got these slots to put cases and bags, and of course they're bespoke, so you have to buy those or they come with the Aston Martin. I'm not sure, but yeah, bespoke luggage. So each car can be had with bespoke luggage that matches the interior. We're talking about prices of about £350,000. Wowzers, plus, you know, I mean, that's like before you start all your customization and all the rest of it. Let me tell you a little bit more about the engine. Like I said, the 12-cylinder twin-turbo, it has got boost reserve, which increases turbo boost pressure above what would normally be required for any given part throttle position. So it is ready to go when full power is needed. This is done during partial throttle demands imperceptibly to the driver. By balancing the throttle flat position to restrict the intake flow, the intelligent wastegate in the turbo to fine-tune the increased intake pressure to match what the driver expects. When the driver demands full power torque, the throttle releases the accumulated boost pressure for immediate response. So it's kind of like, it's like a steam engine. It's sort of building everything up. It's there, and then you don't even know that it's there. But if you go, you know what? I want to overtake 15 cars. Boom! Off you go. Rocket into the future. It's quite bonkers. So ZF 8-speed transmission with an electronic limited slip rear diff, EDIF. The EDIF can fully open to 100% locked in 135 milliseconds. Wow, it's got ESP, traction control, all the rest of it. So the body structure, it's built around a bonded aluminium body structure with double wishbone front suspension, multi-link rear suspension. So pretty solid thing. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's an Aston Martin. You're not going to really take it around the racetrack. You know, you're going to pull up at the poshest destinations in this thing, and every now and then you're going to hit a nice road and open it up and take advantage of that boost reserve. Let me know what you think of James Bond's probably new ride in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next video.
Yo, it's quantum race, tales from the future's face. 13 stories gonna take it to outer space. From Martian canyons deep to Dubai's high rise. Secret lives, AI drives to the man who flies. Pedal to the metal in a 325. Race through time, keeping hope alive. AI takeovers, more lines than blur. Get your engines ready, rev it up for sure. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction, it'll blow your mind. Tech and turn, more survivals to grind. Get lost in the pages, see what you find. Past predators hunt, tomorrow's man leads. Dystopian dreams where the future feeds. From India to the Middle East, stories collide. Uncharted roads in this epic ride. Jump in the driver's seat, feel the thrill. Speeding through the cosmos, chasing that chill. Words without wheels, secrets to unfold. In quantum races, legends are told. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction, it'll blow your mind. Tech and turn, more survivals to grind. Get lost in the pages, see what you find.
Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.